Good morning to you. Daybreak show here at High Fiber One. Don Pannell is in studio with us this morning. Morning, Don.
Good morning.
And Spencer on the phone line from our Grapeview studios as well
morning.
here.
Good morning, Spencer. Seems weird to have headphones on.
I know, right? Not a normal thing for the guests on the show,
Yeah.
but we're getting calls in now, and with Spencer remotely broadcasting, it's a good way to stay connected to everybody.
Perfect.
So I have always thought, and maybe now you can jump in on this one, but you want to see a home in, if you can, and I know some of the market doesn't allow for this with the how quickly some homes are being scooped up, but important, if you can, to see what a house looks like in all four seasons.
I think so too.
Holy
yeah.
cazzoli.
Yeah, it does. It makes a huge difference.
Sure.
I mean, it is if you can. Yeah, but having said that,
How do you know?
Yeah, but spring and summer and everything looks good in spring and summer.
This is exactly right.
And so actually, if you can start looking in fall and winter, not a bad thing.
No,
Yeah.
People are kind of waking up and going, "Hi, Chihuahua! I didn't realize that this would have this sort of drainage, or this had this
Right.
type of slope to it, and
Right.
things like that."
Right.
So just something
Yeah.
to think about.
It is. So that kind of ties into what I wanted to start
perfect.
talking about. So that was pretty good.
Right, just like we planned it. Almost.
Yeah, just like we planned it.
What's going on?
So Angie's List,
Yes.
which is a really good resource. Give them a little plug there. I've used them a couple of times, and so they have come out with a list that I thought would be good to go through, and it is 5 mistakes that kill your home's value.
Okay.
So good things to know this time of year if you're starting to think about maybe putting your house on the market. These are things to pay attention to. So we'll go through as many as we have time for today, and then maybe finish up next time. But the first one, and this is probably a pretty obvious one for people who are paying attention, is the first mistake is ignoring curb appeal.
Yeah.
So they said you shouldn't host an open house or snap your listing photos before addressing your landscape. If your yard doesn't cut it, buyers may reject your property from their cars.
They'll just drive right on by.
They'll drive right on by. And a recent Zillow survey found that curb appeal is one of the top 5 factors for resale.
So then talk to me a little bit about if you didn't do any good upkeep on your curb, but your neighbors did.
Right.
Does that psychologically tell the potential buyer as well, that if look at how nice the neighbors have upkept their stuff, what's your deal? Right.
Exactly. You're kind of, sometimes you want to be the worst house on the block, but for resale, not so much. And it's an easy fix. They're saying to get the maximum curb appeal for minimum effort, you need to maintain your yard. So get colorful flowers and put them in nice pots and mow the lawn. It's amazing how many times you see houses that are listed where they haven't mowed the lawn in months.
I've always wondered that, Don. I've seen that so much. When we sold our house in California, we looked around at competing houses in the neighborhood and in the area, just how people are asking what they're asking for a house. And even if the insides look great, when you look at that curb appeal or non-appeal, you just wonder what people are thinking. I mean, it doesn't cost that much to maintain. Throw some perennials down, mow the lawn, like you said, keep it well manicured.
Right, and they're saying too that one of the best things you can do to amp it up just like even a little bit is to add flower borders and beds and shrubs. They say the most important elements of the front yard, according to a survey, are nice shrubs and again that first thing you see. Landscape. So Angie's List has a list of landscapers and people like that if you want to hire somebody to do that, or if you want to do it yourself.
The other thing I'm just thinking about too is if you drive, there's nothing better than to drive by and see what it really looks like. But if you saw a listing and then you went on, I don't know, Google Maps, and they have the street view, some of those, so the photo that's on our street view for my place is the people prior.
Right.
It's not updated.
Right.
And our whole front yard looks completely different.
Right. Yeah, it's dangerous sometimes to rely on those. So I always encourage folks, if they can, to do a drive-by. Some houses around here are down really long driveways, so it's a little harder to do that. Yeah. But do a drive-by, take a look at the neighborhood, all of those kinds of things before you even look inside. Yeah. And then also keep in mind that pictures can be deceiving sometimes.
Yeah.
So, but the main thing you want is and probably the best thing that you can do is go across the street or go, a ways away and look back at your house, trying to look at it not as your house, but as a prospective buyer, and see if there are some things that jump out at you. So if you look at it and the first thing you see is a dented garage door, well, then maybe one of the things you want to do before you list it is replace that garage door.
Oh, that's a good one.
Or if there's chipped paint on the front door, maybe give that a coat of paint. Those kinds of things. And then obviously the yard. And it's pretty cheap to get a couple pots and put some flowers in them.
Oh, yeah.
And put them beside your front door or something like that.
Make it look nice.
Mm-hmm, right.
What else is on the list?
So that's the number one.
Got it.
Number two, and I hear this all the time, number two mistake is avoiding bathroom remodels or upkeep. So an outdated bathroom is a big mistake, they're saying, but it's bathtubs and the number of bathrooms that have the most influence right now. For a while there, everybody was replacing bathtubs with showers. Well, now they're saying that most folks that are looking, and I've found this as well, they want at least one bathtub in the house.
You gotta have a bathtub.
Exactly.
I mean,
exactly.
if it's not just for you going for a soak if you need after a long day,
right?
You got to wash the dog,
right?
You got to
or kids,
I guess too.
Yeah,
they're not going to fit in the sink forever.
That's right. That's right. They're saying that again, where tubs have been nixed for showers, the pool is it's further limited because people tend to want at least one bathtub, and it's not just about being able to relax, as you said. It's what about children? Have you tried to shower a baby? Bathtubs are important for resale.
Interesting.
So, and they're saying that a new bathtub can cost anywhere from $300 to $3,000, depending on what you're looking for, and installation can be another $500 to $1,500.
Mm-hmm.
So, take a look around, give folks some calls, that kind of thing, and along that same line. Make sure your bathroom is at least. I mean, you don't have to replace everything, obviously, but if you have a cracked sink, maybe it would be a cheap fix to replace that sink. Make sure that things are clean. Nothing turns folks off more than a moldy grout line around the
ring around the tub,
or a ring around the tub, or a ring around the toilet, something like that. I
mean, I get that you can clean most things, but you walk in, it just is off-putting.
It is absolutely. Or so if your sink or your toilet or your tub are very stained, and then maybe it's time to think about getting a new one or getting it resurfaced or something like that. So
when we were looking at houses, Dawn, one thing that really struck me and my wife Sarah were just the smell of some places. Mm-hmm. Like you curb appeals there, you see the house from the outside, perfect location near schools, great infrastructure. You walk in and God knows what's been going on in there, but it just smells like death in some of these places,
Exactly, yeah. They always say that it's good to have somebody come in that doesn't live there.
Yeah.
And ask them, what their first impression is as far as the smell. But then on the other hand, you have to be a little careful about putting too many room fresheners and that kind of thing around, because then people wonder, well, what are you trying to hide? So
it's a real balancing act on some of these things.
It is, yeah. I just sold my house, and that was one of the things that I did. Is I had somebody come in and say, hey, let me know, and there was I had that you hear about going nose blind to it. Well, you do, and so I thought it smelled fine, but it didn't, and so we had to try and figure out what was going on with that, So, yeah,
it's loose a canary in the house, and if it keels
over, you're in trouble, right? Right.
Don, I think those are good there.
Okay.
Those are some good conversations, good starting off point for the next time we visit with you.
Okay.
You're out showing houses. I mean, you're able to get where you need to go.
I am, absolutely. So yeah, I've got 4-wheel drive. So if you want to take a look at some places, we can see if we can get there.
For sure.
And as you said, it's actually a good time to look.
What's the phone number again?
360-490-4493, or come and see me on the corner of 3rd and Railroad. And I'd be happy to help you. And I'll also talk more about your specific house, about maybe some of the things that we can do to improve the curb appeal and improve the bathrooms at this point.
Have you ever lost a client by being too honest with them?
There's always that fear, but I would rather be honest with them than blow smoke, you
Yeah.
know, and then then all of a sudden have them come back and say, well, you didn't tell me that my house smelled terrible, you know, that kind of thing.
I mean, realtors, I'd imagine, doctors, lawyers, these are the people that you want them being straight shooters.
That's what I think. Yeah. I think it's you're better off.
It may be hard to hear what you're going to hear, but in the long run, it benefits only everybody.
Exactly. Yeah, it's easy to tell somebody their house is worth $1 million, but if it's only worth $200,000, they're going to find that out in a hurry.
They certainly will.
And then you're not going to be such a hero anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, John, good to see you.
Good to see you.
Nice.